This is the McHired Fiasco, a case study in foundational security failures. I am Adriana Moore, and this is for my final project for CSIS 159. The incident at a glance. What happened? In June 2025, security researchers discovered critical vulnerabilities in McHired, the AI chatbot platform provided by Paradox.ai, used by McDonald's for job applications. This led to potential exposure of sensitive data from up to 64 million applicants. The key vulnerabilities exploited were 1. A dominant administrator account secured with a default, easily guessed password 123456, an insecure direct object reference IDOR vulnerability. The timeline is June 30th, 2025, where researchers discover and responsibly disclose the vulnerabilities to Paradox.ai and McDonald's. July 1st, 2025, vulnerabilities are patched, and early July 2025, the public becomes aware of the hack, raising questions about AI security and third-party risks. Failure 1, the weakest link, authentication. The problem was an administrator account for a test restaurant instance on Paradox.ai, the platform. It was left active and accessible. The failure. It was protected by a trivial username and password, combination 123456 being the username and password being 123456, and crucially lacked multi-factor authentication, MFA. The technical explanation. This is a basic credential-based attack vector. An adversary did not need sophisticated tools. They just needed to guess one of the most common passwords in the world. The absence of MFA meant there was no secondary verification layer to block the login, even with the correct guess password. On a deeper insight, this is a failure in account lifecycle management. The test account created years prior should have been decommissioned or at a minimum secured with a complex, unique password and MFA. Failure 2, access control, the IDOR vulnerability. What is IDOR? IDOR is a broken access control vulnerability where an application uses a user-supplied input to directly reference an object, like a database entry, without verifying that the user has authorization to access that object. It allows for horizontal privilege escalation, where a user can access another user's data at the same privilege level. How it worked here. After gaining administrative access to the test account, researchers could see an API endpoint that used a sequential number and applicant ID to retrieve a password. By changing this ID number to the API call, for example, from applicant underscore ID equals 101 to applicant underscore ID equals 102, they could retrieve the data of any other applicant, one after another. The technology and data at risk. The involved technology. Paradox.ai's McHired platform. This is a controversial AI chatbot used for recruitment. The API's application program interfaces, the core mechanism that facilitated the IDOR. The chatbot's front end communicated with the back end databases via the APIs. Database, the ultimate target, where 64 million records of personally identifiable information, PII, were stored. The exposed data. Names, email addresses, phone numbers, IP addresses, and physical addresses. full chat histories with the AI, which could contain resume details, personal responses to screening questions, and other sensitive information. The real threat. While no financial data was exposed, this information is a gold mine for social engineering and highly targeted phishing campaigns. Attackers could craft convincing emails claiming to be from McDonald's to steal bank details or other sensitive information from the affected applicants. Recommendations to avoid a similar outcome. For development teams, strict authentication policies, ensuring strong, complex passwords from the outset. Mandatory multi-factor authentication, MFA. All privileged accounts, especially for third-party systems and API access, should require MFA. This would have thwarted the simple password guess. Secure login, or secure by design, shift left. Build security into the development lifecycle from the beginning. This means security testing for vulnerabilities like IDOR is not an afterthought. For security and operation teams, account lifecycle management. Implement a formal process for creating and managing and decommissioning accounts. Dormant test accounts like the one comprised should be automatically disabled or deleted. API security best practices. Implement robust authorization checks at every API request. Do not trust the client to provide valid IDs. Always verify that the authenticated user has permission to access the requested resource. Use indirect or non-sequential object references, for example, UUIDs or GUIDs, instead of predictable integer IDs. This makes it much harder to guess other records. 3. Third-party vendor risk assessment. Organizations like McDonald's must conduct thorough security audits or their vendors, for example, Paradox.ai, before and during their partnerships. Conclusion and key takeaways. The most important lesson. A seemingly advanced technology, AI, is only as secure as its most fundamental components. The McHired incident wasn't due to a complex AI-specific bug, but rather to a cascade of basic preventable security failures. This case reinforces the critical importance of foundational cybersecurity practices, strong authentication, diligent account management, and rigorous application security testing. Even for an advanced audience, this serves as a powerful reminder that the biggest security threats often come from overlooking the basics.